This with a video podcast of, in my mind, the astounding workload of the committees, the standing committees of the California Legislature. You know, the California Legislature has a combined 55 standing committees, 33 of them in the Assembly and 22 of them in the state Senate. During the 2-year 2021-2022 legislative session in California, there were 4,476 bills introduced. And those 55 standing committees and their very hardworking consultants, along with the minority party counterparts, reviewed and analyzed thousands of bills during that 2-year session. So I wanted to go through some data, and this is only for the original bill referrals to the policy committees. And what that means is they only track the first committee referral. So a bill that gets referred to a second, or even in some instances, a third policy committee is not noted. About 80-85% of the bills go through the appropriations committees. And then, of course, all bills are referred out of the Rules Committee. So those aren't included here in either the Senate or the Assembly. We're just looking at those first referrals of both ABs and SBs in both houses. So on the Assembly side, the Accountability and Administrative Review Committee had 56 bill referrals. The Aging and Long-Term Care Committee had 22 bill referrals. The Agriculture Committee had 48 bill referrals. The Arts, Entertainment, Sports, Tourism, and Internet Media Committee had 20 referrals. The Banking and Finance Committee had 50 referrals. The Budget Committee had 189 bill referrals. The Business and Professions Committee had 186 bill referrals. The Communications and Conveyance Committee had 38 bill referrals. The Education Committee had 209 bill referrals. The Elections Committee had 78 bill referrals. The Emergency Management Committee had 53 bill referrals. The Environmental Safety and Toxic Materials Committee had 83 bill referrals. The Governmental Organization Committee had 104 bill referrals. The Health Committee had 353 bill referrals. The Higher Education Committee had 137 bill referrals. The Housing and Community Development Committee had 190 bill referrals. The Human Services Committee had 136 bill referrals. The Insurance Committee had 88 bill referrals. The Jobs, Economic Development, and the Economy Committee had 37 bill referrals. The Judiciary Committee had 200 bill referrals. The Labor and Employment Committee had 120 bill referrals. The Local Government Committee had 154 bill referrals. The Military and Veterans Affairs Committee had 23 bill referrals. The Natural Resources Committee had 237 bill referrals. The Privacy and Consumer Protection Committee had 74 bill referrals. The Public Employment and Retirement Committee had 70 bill referrals. The Public Safety Committee had 332 bill referrals. The Revenue and Taxation Committee had 156 bill referrals. The Transportation Committee had 185 bill referrals. The Utilities and Energy Committee had 83 bill referrals. And the Water Parks and Wildlife Committee had 96 bill referrals. So the total was 3,807 bill referrals. Of the Assembly standing committees during the 2021 to 22 session, they handled 2,733 ABs and 1,074 SBs. Turning to the state Senate committees, now remember, we don't include appropriations or rules committees. The Agriculture Committee had 26 bill referrals. The Banking and Financial Institutions Committee had 32 bill referrals. The Budget and Fiscal Review Committee had 188 bill referrals. The Business, Professions, and Economic Development Committee had 191 bill referrals. The Education Committee had 248 bill referrals. The Elections and Constitutional Amendments Committee had 60 bill referrals. The Energy, Utilities, and Communications Committee had 86 bill referrals. The Environmental Quality Committee had 128 bill referrals. The Governance and Finance Committee had 181 bill referrals. The Governmental Organization Committee had 169 bill referrals. The Health Committee had 263 bill referrals. The Housing Committee had 91 bill referrals. The Human Services Committee had 107 bill referrals. The Insurance Committee had 20 bill referrals. The Judiciary Committee had 229 bill referrals. The Labor, Public Employment, and Retirement Committee had 150 bill referrals. The Military and Veterans Affairs Committee had 15 bill referrals. The Natural Resources and Water Committee had 139 bill referrals. The Public Safety Committee had 232 bill referrals. And the Transportation Committee had 120 bill referrals, for a total of the Senate standing committees 2,665 bills. So of the Senate standing committees in the 2021 to 22 session, they handled collectively a total of 1,039 SBs and 1,626 ABs during that 2-year session.